my gosh, it just got so much easier. It's insane. Okay, so what am I talking about? I am talking about makeup versus filters versus catfish, and I need you to weigh in. So I really hope that men and women will chime in on this topic. So I attend a lot of professional seminars and, am sitting before a lot of different influential people. And everybody has an opinion and everyone has a certain level of expertise in the area that they work. And so my most recent conference, we had a beautiful woman there that was a speaker, and I won't give her name, but she had a lot of great things to share. And one of the things that she emphasized is the fact that basically using filters is wrong. So she talked about, how I don't even really know how to properly regurgitate what she was saying, but basically it was just saying that, people have this ideal, they don't want to show who they really are. They're hiding behind filters and all the things. Well, I think that might be true for some people, but for some people it's not. So for instance, for me, I currently right now do not have on any filter, right? But I'm gonna pause for a second. I'm gonna put on the filter. I'm gonna put on the glamorous filter. So hold 1 second. So now this is me with a glam filter. Now, I want you, if you get an opportunity, to go look at some of my images that are on my TikTok. If you happen to be Facebook friends with me or on my Instagram, you will also see some professional images of me. Okay, now because I work in entertainment, when I get photos done, when I do interviews, when I am performing, I get a full face of makeup, right? So how my face looks right now with this glam filter is very, very close to how my face looks when I have a full-on beat. And any professional makeup artist, I'm sure, would agree. So I'm trying to see what is the difference in people's minds with filters versus makeup. So when a woman wears makeup, or a man, because there's some men that wear makeup too, is that something that's looked at as a disguise? Or is it looked at as an enhancement? Or maybe they are trying to cover blemishes? Now, I know that there's a difference when you get into drastically changing what your face looks like. And then you're not the real person when someone meets you. They're like, what the hell did I just run into? Because this is not the person that I have been seeing on my social media. So I really feel like this needs to be a discussion, and I might actually bring it up on my upcoming podcast episode, because I feel like, doesn't it fall under the same category as like fat shaming or skinny shaming or hair shaming? Like if we're wearing, well, my nails are not actually fake, they're actually mine, but I do have an overlay of powder dip, right? So that they stay strong, they don't break, and it lasts longer, right? So then we also talk about extensions. Like right now I have, braided extensions in my hair, but my hair does come past my shoulders, but it's easier, it's more fun to be able to wear different hairstyles, just kind of change it up. I wear wigs a lot of the times, and I love my hair, but I want to have a variety. I'm a chameleon and I love to be able to change up. So is that wrong, or am I being fake? And am I presenting myself or my hair as something that it's not, right? So I'm just wondering, where do we actually draw the line when we talk about using filters, when we talk about wearing makeup, when we talk about having hair extensions, when we talk about wearing fake nails, when we talk about fake booties, when we talk about fake boobies, when we talk about liposuction, when we talk about, tummy tucks, there's so many layers to this. And I feel like, using filters, for some people it's fun. For some people it does help their self-esteem. If they're not happy with the way that they look and they want to present themselves, whether they are pretending, whether they are doing something that fulfills them, is there truly harm in them doing that? If they are not presenting themselves to someone like on a dating app or something like that to look a certain way, because let's face it, these filters are really good to where you can really look like a totally different person, like Facetune, and then you get with the person and then they are not at all what you imagine them to be. Now then I think that it's an issue. But when I use a filter, and speaking of which, let me take the filter off. Hold on 1 second. But when I use a filter, it saves me time. It saves my skin. Like every time that I get behind a camera, I want to actually, if I'm performing, if I'm doing videos for you, just depending on the situation, like sometimes I want to come on here and just be like, just clean face, no makeup, whatever. Depending on what products I'm talking about, depending on the time of day. But sometimes I come on here to do a show. And when I'm doing a show, like just because I'm behind a camera in my home, if I went to do an interview outside of my home, if I went to perform on stage, I'm a retired recording artist, I'm going to have on a full-on face of makeup. If I'm going to have a photo shoot, I am going to have a full-on face of makeup. Number one, I don't do my own face. Like I have on a little bit of eyeliner, I have on a little bit of, eyebrow pencil and, some mascara, but I don't do glam. I pay a professional makeup artist to do my glam makeup. So this saves me time using a filter, it saves me money, and it also saves my skin from always having heavy makeup on my face every time that I go behind a camera, because I am behind a camera every single day. So let me know what you think. Please chime in, men and women. How do you feel? Do you feel like using filters is wrong? Do you feel like it is misleading if you are actually, working in a profession to where you are, trying to, have a clean, finished, professional look as you perform or do a show? Do you feel like it's okay for everybody all the time? Like this filter shaming thing, I just think that, that maybe it's not the same for everyone. And I think that I just don't think that we should be judging. If we talk about not judging women for changing their bodies, and having surgeries done, if we talk about not shaming them for, getting hair extensions, and just while we're on the topic of hair extensions, African American women, we were not the ones that were wearing hair extensions for a very long time. That is a misconception. Hair extensions were so expensive before, a lot of African American women couldn't even afford it. So Caucasian women have been wearing hair extensions long before we were wearing hair extensions as we know it. Now we were doing braids. Now we invented the braid, let me say that. But as far as tape-ins and clip-ins and braid-ins and tracks and all of that and lace wigs, like that's something that's been in Hollywood forever, right? But I think that, women of color that may have a certain texture of hair also get a bad rap for wearing hair extensions or a different hair texture that may not be their own. So there's so many layers to unpack here, and I think I'm going to have to do a podcast about this. So I would love for you to be able to chime in on this topic. So it's your Energizer Beauty checking in with you, and I can't wait to hear what you all have to say. Talk to you soon. Bye.